Anne Frank was born in Germany in 1929. When she was 4 years old, a government called the Nazi Party took over the power in Germany. The leader was called Adolf Hitler. Adolf wasn't a fair man. He hated a lot of groups. He was a racist person. Anne Frank was a Jew. Living in Germany, it was a risky time and they had to move to Holland for safety. But in 1939, World War II broke out. It wasn't safe there anymore. In 1942, it got worse, so Anne's family had to move to go into hiding behind a bookshelf, where, in Anne Frank's dad's work, Anne kept a diary writing down her feelings and hopes for the future. In 1944, the German police found them. They were sent to a concentration camps. Like a prison, it was awful in there. Very little food in there, and a lot of people died. So unfortunately, in 1945, Anne died weeks before the war had finished. After the war, Anne's father, Otto, found her diary. He decided to publish it, and it was published all over the world. Anne's diary has been published in many different languages and has been read around the world. Her words have captured the hearts of the world that read it. Thanks to Anne, it showed us the power of words. Amelia Earhart. When she was 20 years old, she saw her first air show and thought, wow, I want to do that. Amelia decided she wanted to fly. She was the first woman to fly 14,000 feet in the air. And she was the first woman to fly over the Atlantic Ocean. And she was the first woman, wow. Amelia wanted all women to have the same opportunity to fly, so she set up a club with other women. They called it the 99s. It encouraged women to become pilots. She was the first person to fly over the Pacific Ocean. In 1937, she wanted to fly around the world. Unfortunately, it never happened. She was lost. Because of her, women can now become pilots. She set it up and made it possible. Ada Lovelace was born in 1815 in London. Ada's mother and father were famous. One was a good mathematician and the other was a poet. Ada was a clever girl and had a creative mind and loved maths. One day she met a man called Charles Babbage. He created something similar to a calculator called a difference machine. He could add up complex numbers. Ada was in shock and awe. Wow, how does it work? She worked together in collaboration. In 1840, Ada created a code that linked to computing, making complex maths. That idea was the first coding language for computers. 100 years later, the first computer was made. Ada was very clever. She had created a computing language before a computer was even invented. Rosa Parks is the woman that changed American history forever. She started the Montgomery bus rides or the campaign. On the 1st December 1955, black and white people were segregated. Black people were seen as unequal to white people. Rosa refused one day to give up her seat to a white person on a bus. People saw this and agreed with her, and they started a campaign to make black and white people equal. This campaign should have lasted one day, but it lasted 1 year, until eventually they succeeded and the law was changed. Rosa took a stand against inequality and changed it. She changed the view of a nation in America. Wow.